Before we begin our story for today, I would like to thank you, our loyal followers, for watching our work and discussing it in the comments. If you like the video, do not hesitate to press the like and subscribe button, and do not forget to activate the notifications button, so that you receive all new updates. Our topic today is an incident that caused social networking sites to explode in 2016. Various videos, and many personalities spoke about this incident, its heroes, a division of the American Army, a giant, and the place where it occurred, Afghanistan. An incident that is close to imagination, but the extent of its spread prompted the highest American authorities to issue a statement about this matter. What is the story and what happened in Afghanistan, and what is the relationship of the Bible to the matter? I will not detain you, my friends. This is the full story about the Giant of Kandahar. We begin our story from the year 2002, specifically, during the United States of America's Operation Enduring Freedom, against the Taliban movement in Afghanistan. The battles were at their most intense, deaths were falling on both sides, and cities were being destroyed, including those in them. Kandahar province witnessed the fiercest of these battles, because the Taliban movement was considered its capital at that time, and in the mountains of Kandahar and its caves. An unexpected event happened. This year, a U.S. Army patrol, which was on an exploratory tour, disappeared in an isolated area in the middle of the mountains. Communication with the patrol was cut off, prompting officials to send a special unit to investigate what happened to the missing patrol. The soldiers spoke. They arrived at the site of the patrol's disappearance, which was a dark and deep cave. At the entrance to the cave, army equipment began to appear scattered here and there, but there was no trace of a soldier from the missing patrol, and without warning, he came out to confront the soldiers in a way that no one had thought possible. From inside the cave he came out to confront them. Giant. Yes, giant, and not in the metaphorical sense, but in every sense of the word. The red-haired giant, with 6 fingers on each limb, and 15 feet tall, was clad only in a leather robe, covering his lower body. And his scent. It smells like corpses, according to witnesses. The soldiers were shocked by the sight that suddenly appeared before them, and they did not recover from their shock until after the giant tore apart one of their soldiers, named Dan, in front of their eyes, using a sharp, primitive spear. Horrifying what happened. Here the soldiers began shooting for 30 continuous seconds with their heavy-caliber weapons, and their attack was effective, as the giant fell, swimming in his blood. The Giant of Kandahar was transported via a large Boeing C-47 Chinook helicopter, and then in a private transport plane, leaving no trace of the giant. As for the soldiers, they were forced to sign confidentiality agreements with the American government, according to the sources who reported this story. The question now: if the soldiers actually signed a confidentiality agreement, and the giant's body had disappeared, how did this news spread to such a large extent? Good. The answer lies in a video that appeared in 2016 on a YouTube channel belonging to the writer and filmmaker L. Mazzilli. This writer is known for linking all contemporary events, understandable and incomprehensible, with the predictions of the Bible, whether from ancient or modern books. The video, which was published on August 13, 2016, caused a huge uproar, and was republished on more than one channel and many social media outlets. In this video, the person who told this story, or rather, pulled back the curtain on this dangerous secret as he called it, he was one of the soldiers who killed the Giant of Kandahar, without revealing his identity, and he simply called himself Mr. K. Of course Mr. K's face darkened. Marzulli did not mention the time or place of his hosting of the soldier, perhaps because of the agreement that all members of the squad had previously signed. The story that the soldier told was the same as the one I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, without specifying the place, and he simply said that it was an isolated place in the middle of the mountains of Afghanistan. Here, Marzulli intervened with his studies, and said that the giant is the one mentioned in the Bible as Nephilim. That is, the fallen titans, according to the closest expression to explain the name, despite the fame of the Nephilim even in most translated copies of the Bible. These creatures are the product of mating between the gods and the daughters of Adam. They are the giant titans distinguished by their extraordinary size and lethal force. These giants, according to Marzulli's interpretations, inhabited the Middle East, before and after Noah's flood, and were among the only survivors after the flood, without boarding the ark. Giants from ancient times, and exciting secrets, stir the silence of thinkers, whether supporters or opponents alike. As the video spread, conspiracy theories began to emerge again, to confirm the reality of the incident, especially when the video was deleted by higher authorities, and on the other hand, scientific voices emerged denying the issue at all. Let us begin with specialists in interpretations of the Bible, who in turn confirm that the stories of the Nephilim are merely a metaphor, and they appear in the Bible without mentioning giants 15 feet tall who inhabit the desert. As for the official authorities, with the video spreading widely, they were forced to take action, and that's what happened. Specifically through the famous Snopes website, which specializes in explaining everything that is incomprehensible and outside the scope of customs, and was the first to settle the controversy. The site's administrators went directly to the U.S. Department of Defense to inquire about the facts of the strange incident. One of the speakers from the U.S. Department of Defense gave the decisive answer, and stated that there is no report or any information about the killing of a member of the reconnaissance team at the hands of a legendary giant, and that battle records actually showed the killing of a soldier during the Kandahar operations in 2002, and his full name was Daniel Romero. But he died during a bomb explosion, which took his life along with 2 soldiers. So, despite the absence of conclusive evidence to believe the story, and despite the absence of the famous body in the story of Kandahar, it is illogical that there is a giant of unusual height inhabiting a populated area, and no report had ever been recorded about him before this incident, neither from the local media or even foreign. However, supporters of the conspiracy theory see it as a new conspiracy by their governments, to obscure the facts and make them appear to be fabricated stories created by the imagination, as is the case with many other stories, most notably the arrival of aliens to Earth and their repeated visits. As for us, we will be there every time to talk about topics that were the focus of interest among people, to search for logical explanations that put us in the appropriate context for all events. So stay tuned, as the issues and stories are many, and until then, stay safe, and see you.